Welcome back to the Maelstrom, ladies and gentlemen. We have another Warhammer 40k battle report for you today. Today we're going to be doing 2,000 points, and we're playing Ascension from the Eternal War missions in Chapter Approved 2017. We're going to be doing Khorne Demons versus Death Guard. So we're looking to grab 3 objectives. Our HQs have the ability to take them in spite of other models being present, and the more turns our HQs hold them, the more valuable they become. We are also going to be playing pitched battle. The Death Guard will be on the opposite side of the table. Khorne Demons will be over here. We'll be right back with the armies. Starting things off, Eric is going to be running Khorne Demons. He's going to be playing the list that I played recently on the channel. We have a Bloodthirster of Insensate Rage. He's going to be the Warlord. He has the Armor of Scorn and Rage Incarnate as his Warlord trait. We also have 3 squads of 10 Bloodletters scattered throughout the throng here. And then we have 3 squads of Fleshhounds. We have 2 squads that are 6 strong, 1 squad that contains 7 members. We also have a Blood Hunter, and he is leading a squad of 5 Blood Crushers. They have an icon and an instrument, and then the Bloodletters have only the instrument. We also have a pair of Skull Cannons and a Soul Grinder. They are going to be running with a Blood Throne as a spearhead detachment to back up the battalion. And then we also have 1 more Soul Grinder who is going to be in the battalion. So that's the Khorne Demons. We'll be right back with the Death Guard. Next up, we have the forces of the Death Guard. They are organized into a battalion detachment. Starting off with the HQs, we have our standby Demon Prince. He's running with a pair of Malefic Talons, Wings, and the Suppurating Plate, and his Warlord trait is Arch Corruptor. He is also running with a Plague Caster. The Plague Caster has Curse of the Leper and Blades of Putrefaction. The Demon Prince has Miasma of Pestilence for their psychic powers. We then have 4 squads of Plague Marines making up the bulk of the army. 2 of them have double plasma guns, 1 has double Plague Spewers, and 1 has double Blight Launchers. 3 of those, other than the Blight Launcher squad, are going to be mounted in Rhinos, standard kit out. Then we have a pair of Fetid Bloat Drones with 2 Plague Spitters and a Plague Probe, a 3-man unit of Mephitic Blight Haulers, and to finish things off we have our 5-man Blight Lord Terminator squad, 2 axes, 3 swords, and they have a Blight Launcher and 4 Combi Plasmas. You have seen the armies and you have seen the table. We will be back as we get stuck into the Maelstrom. Alright, initial setup is complete. The Death Guard were down first. The Khorne Demons set a Soul Grinder up on this flank along with their Crushers and 1 squad of Bloodletters. Moving towards the center, they have more armored support in the Bloodthirster, and then the majority of their Hounds right here in the center. The Skull Cannons supporting them along with the Blood Throne and 10 more Bloodletters on this flank. So they are 100% committed. Everything's on the field. The Death Guard have deployed 3 Rhino squads. The squad on the right-hand side is the Plague Spewers and the Plague Caster. The 2 to the left are double plasma gun. And then we have all of our Demon Engines along with the Demon Prince and the 1 squad on foot here. Our only reserves are the 5 Terminators who are teleporting into battle as usual. So Death Guard will get +1 to their roll. Death Guard are looking at a 2. And the Demons are looking at a 2. So we're going to have a reroll here. Demons have a 4, or Death Guard have a 4, and Demons have a 6. I assume you're going first?
Yep.
Alright, Eric's going to take it away for the first turn with the Khorne Demons, then we will be back. Alright, Khorne Demons have finished up turn 1, did a general advance, moved everything towards the objectives to try to put some pressure against the Death Guard here on the front. And opened fire with their Demon Engines. Did pretty well with them. Fired the 2 Skull Cannons and both Soul Grinders here, and were able to destroy 1 of the 3 Mephitic Blight Haulers, cutting their efficiency down there early in the game, trying to keep them from shooting anything up too badly. So that was it for the first turn. No points scored as we're just jockeying for position yet. Death Guard turn 1 coming up next. Death Guard have finished turn 1 up to the assault phase. We went ahead and moved forward with everybody. Everybody piled out of the Rhinos to start their firing. Between the psychic phase, a smite that got off, and a bunch of shooting, we were able to kill all of the Hounds except 1 here in the center. On this flank, we were able to cut down all but 1 who remains with 1 wound. That was between the 2 Rhinos and the 2 plasma squads, one of which took Vets of the Long War. They also cooked their plasma guns and were able to bring this Blood Throne, or Skull Cannon rather, down to 1 wound. For the assault phase, we're going to go ahead and charge. This Rhino made a charge against the Blood Throne. These Marines are charging the Hound directly in front of them. The Marines on this flank are going to be going around into this Hound. We also were able to bring down one of the Blood Crushers and wound another one. Attempted to charge on them with the Mephitic Blight Haulers, but were unable to make it. And then did 5 wounds to this Skull Cannon with a multi-melta. So we are going into the assault phase. We will be back once the Death Guard have wrapped up their turn. Alright, assault phase rolls to an end. Rhino did not do any damage, but did take 2 wounds in return. The Plague Marines here were able to kill their targets and consolidate slightly forward. These Marines, however, did 1 wound to the Hound, and the Hound killed 2 Plague Marines in return. So not exactly what we were planning there. But that is the end of Death Guard turn 1. Death Guard come out of that turn with this objective and this objective plus First Blood. So it'll be 3-0 in favor of the Death Guard at the moment. We will be right back with Khorne turn 2. Khorne Demons are ready for the assault phase. They went ahead and moved their Soul Grinders forward. Soul Grinders fired on the Bloat Drone here and were able to bring him down to 6 wounds. They were also able with their Skull Cannons to fire here and bring down 1 of the Plague Marines. Other than that, not much done in the shooting phase. We are getting some assaults ready. The Bloodletters are going into this Rhino. These Bloodletters took 2 casualties on Overwatch, but the 8 survivors are going into these 5 men. And then we have the Soul Grinder here going into this Bloat Drone, and the Blood Crushers here going into the Mephitic Blight Haulers. We also we forgot to film it, but this dog did die on morale. So these guys were open to Overwatch, but they are getting charged now by the Bloodletters. So that is it for turn 2 up to the assault phase for Khorne Demons. We're going to work these bloody combats and see where we're at. Alright, Khorne assault phase rolls to an end. The Blood Throne came up big, rolled 2 6s, and put 6 wounds into the Rhino. From there, with 2 wounds left, it was a short task for the Bloodletters to butcher what remained of that tank. They consolidated over into these 3 Marines, along with their buddies here, who promptly slaughtered the 5 Marines on this side and consolidated in as well. We attempted to try to kill some of those off, but didn't manage to get anything done with the return attacks. Down here, the Bloodthirster cut down the first Bloat Drone and then consolidated into the Marines behind. The Soul Grinder went into this Bloat Drone, but was unable to do much. He got 2 wounds through. Over here, the Crushers hit pretty big. They knocked one of the Blight Haulers out, did 2 wounds to the other one, and in the process killed a Marine here, wounded, and then wounded everything around in the explosion whenever it died. They did lose 1 of their own number in return, but not too much going on there. So we've got 1 morale check, because when the Rhino blew up down here, it did take out 3 of the 7 men that were remaining, or 6 men that were remaining in this squad. So morale there, 3, they will be good. So that is it. They scored all 3 objectives, so Khorne Demons tied up 3-3 going into the bottom of turn 2. Death Guard have wrapped up their turn 2. Went ahead and brought our Terminators in back here. The Blight Hauler fell back so we could shoot, and we went ahead and moved these guys around this way. We wanted to put some shots into these. Unfortunately, even with Vets of Long War, we managed to get 1. We couldn't get anything else together. So we brought down 1 of them. The Demon Prince is charging the 2 survivors there. He has cast Miasma of Pestilence on himself. The Plaguecaster cast Smite, which the Armor of Scorn canceled, but he was able to get off Blades of Putrefaction, which goes to the Prince as well. And then the the Bloodthirster here took 1 wound from that from Pestilential Fallout. He also ate Overheated Plasma and all that good stuff from the guys behind him, leaving him with 1 wound remaining going into the assault phase. We have put the Sorcerer, the Marines, and the Terminators into combat with him. Down here, we shot up these Bloodletters with the Bloat Drone after we fell back from combat. He killed all but 1 of them. We were able to bring 4 down on this end with the Rhino fire from the 2 Rhinos, and we are going ahead and putting this Rhino into the lone survivor on this side. So that is it. We're up to the assault phase. We'll be back once that's complete. Death Guard turn 2 rolls to an end. We went ahead and moved the assaults into combat here with the Bloodthirster. The Bubotic Axes were able to bring him down. The Demon Prince killed off 1 of the Crushers, left the second Crusher at 1 wound, but was unable to score the objective. We did have a character here on a Crusher as well. Same thing down here, no ability to score with the Bloodletters there. So we did get 2 of them on morale, 1 from each squad, which did finish this squad off. So 1 point scored total for Slay the Warlord when the Bloodthirster went down. That will put Death Guard in the lead 3-4. Turn 3 for the Khorne Demons coming up next. Alright, Khorne Demons are done with the shooting phase and are getting ready to start their assaults. The 2 Soul Grinders coupled their fire on the Terminators to no effect. The Skull Cannons, however, had a little bit better luck and were able to blast all 3 of these Plague Marines out of existence. Then going into the assaults, this Throne is going into the Rhino here. The Skull Cannon in the back was able to make it to this drone. And then this Soul Grinder and the Bloodmaster are both going into the Demon Prince. And the wounded Soul Grinder is going into the Marines here up front. So we're going to work those combats, and we will be back. Alright, the assault phase rolls to an end for the Khorne Demons. They were able to get the Rhino down to 3 points with the Herald. However, the Bloodletters missed completely. 2 more wounds from this Bloat Drone, leaving him at 6, but he was able to do 1 in return to the Skull Cannon. Over here, the Soul Grinder was able to crush 1 Marine and lost 1 wound in return. And then the Demon Prince, the Skull Crushers Blood Crushers that were already in combat with him, wounded him, but he made his saves and the Suppurating Plate finished them off. And then he was able to kill the Herald with his attacks. Between all of the attacks, the Soul Grinder, the Herald, everything else, they were only able to do 3 wounds to the Prince. So he was able to hang in there and survive that. But the Demons are going to score 2 points. They're going to score 1 for the objective that the Bloodletters are on here. And on this end, the Bloodletters with their objective secured are going to continue to hold this objective. 2 more points. Lead swings back into the favor of Khorne Demons at that point. They're going to be in the lead 5-4 going into the bottom of turn 3. Alright, Death Guard have finished turn 3 up to the close combat. We went ahead and jumped out with the Plague Spewers and moved them forward. They fired and killed off the last of the Bloodletters and are now charging into the Throne. Down here, we were able to kill off the Soul Grinder. We got all but 1 wound through psychic damage, and then we were able to finish him off with fire from the Bloat Drone in the back that had fallen back from combat. We then fired with the Terminators, overcharged our plasma. We fired the Blight Launcher to the 1 wound vehicle back here, destroyed it. And then the plasma failed miserably and we ended up with 3 hits and killed a Terminator on a 1. But we did do it 2 more wounds, left it at 4. We fired on it with the Mephitic Blight Hauler, but to no effect. We're going ahead and sending the Blight Hauler and the Terminators into combat here to assist against the Soul Grinder. And we will be back once we're finished with that. Alright, combat's end. I stupidly charged here. Should not have done that. Did lose 3 guys to the Throne, but we were still able to hold this and pass our morale. Over here, with all of our attacks, we brought the Soul Grinder down to 1 wound. He was able to do a couple of wounds to the Demon Prince, tempt fate through the 1 wound remaining in the Suppurating Plate, but I could not get my save on the one that came through, so that did leave him with just 3 remaining. So that's the end of the turn. Demon Prince scored 1 point here for holding this objective for Ascend, but I've got this guy here, so nothing's going to happen on this end. Alright, so we got 1 point total. That's going to score it up 5-5. We will be back after the Khorne Demons come in turn 4. Close combat rolls to an end. The Blood Throne is able to bring down 1 of the 3 Plague Marines and score a point there for holding that objective with Ascend. Over here, the Soul Grinder was unable to kill the Demon Prince, scored a hit, rolled a 1 to wound, attempted a reroll with a command point reroll and rolled a 1 again. And then the Terminators were able to smash the Soul Grinder and move on with that combat. Down here, nothing really happened. We got this guy down to 6 wounds. But no damage dealt there. So that's going to be the end of that turn. Points scored here for the Demons and points scored here for the Demons. That's going to put them in the lead 7-5 going into Death Guard turn 4. Death Guard turn 4 is up to the close combat. We went ahead and fell back from combat with the Blood Throne, moved the Plaguecaster up to the roof. He then used Smite, and Blades of Putrefaction did Pestilential Fallout, brought this guy down to 3 wounds, and we put Blades of Putrefaction on the Terminators. The Demon Prince smote as well. Between his powers and the fire of the Terminators, we were able to bring this skull cannon down to 2 wounds. Down here, we moved the Mephitic Blighthauler back, fired on the throne, or on the skull cannon, but it was able to make it save. Rhino and the Marines here that were advancing up into the street fired here, left 1 Bloodletter alive. We're now charging him with this Rhino. We've also got, like I said, the Terminators going into combat over here. Going to leave the Demon Prince out of combat just because we do need the points for that objective, and with Ascend being the mission, it is worth 2 points at this point. So, we're going to go ahead and work these combats, and we will be back. Alright, Death Guard close combat has rolled to an end. The Terminators were able to make short work of the Blood Throne. They did cut it up and then turn to address this skull cannon that's in the backfield. The final Bloodletter was unharmed by the Rhino, but he did auto die on morale. There were not enough command points left to keep him in the fight. So, at that point, the Death Guard are in the lead 7-9. The Khorne Demons are going to go ahead and call it at that point. Brutal game, bloody all the way through and very close to the end. We will have army lists at the blog as always. Give us a like on Facebook. That's the best way to see our new content as it comes out. Subscribe here on the channel and give us a click on that bell to get notifications when our new stuff comes out. As always, guys, thanks for spending time with us today at the Maelstrom.